Right, morning all, it's Saturday 9th of August and I'm just doing the filter clean today because I've had some other issues going on around the house that I'll get into in a bit. I've just boiled them up, I've checked the UV and around the platform, no more burn marks. There's no burn marks on the tops of the balls either, which I've checked. So these other 10 have been sat in a salt bath for 4 or 5 days, so they're going in today. I took delivery yesterday for the other 10 that I was going to make up, so I've just sat and made those, which are just there. So they're going to go in a salt bath until Thursday, I guess, when I do the next filter clean and sort that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all back together and I'll come back to you. So we've had a very high water bill. It's doubled since last month, and the wife blamed me for it, for having my third pond, and I said, well, it's only, it would have been over 1,000 litres extra, and then a little water change every week or 10 days, whatever it is, in this one, and the water bill like basically doubled. And I said, well, that can't really happen with 1,000 litres. And that is, as you see, my bog filter growing lovely, which is quite surprising actually, because this IBC is salted, and they say that it normally kills off your plants, but this seems to be thriving. So so you got all new roots coming along here as well, just shooting off. Lovely. Anyway, going back to our high water bill. So obviously I got the blame for that, and started investigating, and we have durian trees. We've got 4 of them, real big, just about 4 years old now, growing. They haven't produced any fruit yet, but they probably will over the next year or so. So this area around here, by that tap on the wall, there was quite a lot of water. As you can see, it's drying out now. Trying to work out what was going on. And initially when we bought the house, the main water pipes were above ground, and they went all the way along to the end of the property down there. So I changed them all and dug a trench all the way along here and put them in ground, because obviously being in Thailand, the heat makes the pipes go brittle over time. So I put them underground. I dug this up yesterday morning because I was like, has one of my pipes split? But it hadn't, and I didn't think it would have, because when I put it all together, I sanded them, scratched them all up, heavy glued them, pushed, twisted, and they were rock solid. And I was like, I doubt very much it's that. Anyway, I spent about 2 hours digging this all up, removing all the stones and all that, to find it was all dry, apart from the floor being damp. I had plastic sheets all underneath the pipes, trying to just make sure there was no leaks on the joints. But because this is quite long, they're in 4-metre strips, so there's very little joins. It's just every 4 metres. So this area was all dry, apart from where it comes out here. It kind of goes into an L section and then back down this way, just because of the way that the pipes and the roots of the trees were going. That's how I did it, so the pipes are 1 metre off of the wall, and this is all dry. So I went for lunch and I come back, and where I'd left the plastic bags, underneath was like a river. I was like, where's that coming from there? So I started moving the stones around this durian tree, and what happened is over time the tree root has obviously grown considerably in size, and it pushed the pipe out and cracked it. But it gets a bit more interesting. This is all of the new pipe that I put in yesterday. I've just got a bag down just on making sure there's no leaks before I fill this back up again, but overnight it's dry, there's nothing, but this whole area it's just been soaking for like a month, so the trees had a good old water in. But what's happened, real dodgy, these are the pipes that I took out. So this is the one where the root pushed against, and you can see that it's snapped and cracked. The yellow pipe is for electrics, and it's considerably weaker than the blue water pipe, different specs, and to save about 2 pennies they've used electrical connectors. Not only that, they had 2 within about 50 centimetres of one another. Why they did that, I've no idea. My only guess is the water pipe originally ran along here. They then decided to plant this durian tree, and they tried moving the pipe over and used those connectors just to move it over a bit. So it was the durian tree that caused our double water bill, not my koi ponds. So wife hadn't really said anything, which is a bit surprising really, isn't it? I don't even like durian. These are her durian trees, so I mean, we didn't plant them. The previous owner planted these durian trees before we bought the house, but I wanted to chop them down because I don't really like durian. I hate the smell, I hate the fruit, I'd rather not have them, but the wife wants it to keep them, so we kept them. So technically this is her fault, so the water bill doubled because of her durian tree. But in reality, whoever fitted these water pipes originally, absolute cowboy. So hopefully now, next month, we get a more water bill again, and I get to keep my ponds. Nice. Alright, good morning all. It is Thursday the 14th of August. It's been raining since about 7:30 this morning. It's just gone 10, and we've got some dark clouds, but it's dried up, so I'm going to crack on with my filter clean this morning, get that done. I have got an extra 10 of the floating nets made up. That's been sat in the salt bath for the best part of a week, I think. So I'm going to get them in. I'm going to boil this up in a minute. It's the first job of the filter clean. So still got mosquito issue, but it is a bit better, but still far more than I want. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one boiled and cleaned. And then I'm going to put these nets in. I'll probably show you once I've got them in. Just want to have a look at the condition of the water, see what this barrel's looking like. Whether I'll get those 10 in, I'm not sure, but I should do. We'll see. And then depending on whether the weather stays good, I might show you another issue that I've found with the water supply going into the house, which is a bit of a pain. Not a big job to fix, but I will show you that later on, weather dependent. Right, so I've now got 31 of the floating nets in barrel 2. I have thought of a potential issue with this. It hasn't happened yet, but now that I've added an extra 10 in, it might do. But basically, when the water's draining, obviously the nets are going to be sinking along with the water line. And when it gets right down to the bottom, the nets might start blocking up the drain. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that on the next drain when I do the filter clean next week, and see if it affects it too much. If it does, I'm gonna have to try and come up with a second platform like around here, so the actual balls will sit in between there and there, if you know what I mean. So the balls will stop at a certain point and the nets won't be able to sink right to the bottom of the barrel. But I need to think how I'm going to do that, because the weight of the 31 nets aren't too bad when they're dry. It'll be when they're wet. This won't have to come out very often, but obviously when I have to pull this up, the weight of it will be quite substantial until they're dry, which ain't too much of a problem. I'll just wait for all the water to drip off of them before I can pull it out. But it's something to think of. So yeah, I'll get this back together and see what happens next week, I guess. Right, so the filter clean is now done. We're just topping back up with water. It's starting to rain again, just spitting and that. So I will show you a new issue that has happened. That is not actually a new issue. This house is pump fed. So the water comes in from the mains, obviously, all the way along, and then goes into the in-ground water tank, and then it gets pumped through there, up through here, and this part here is what I did last year. I put it in the ground because that was a trip hazard, so I put that in ground and then up into the pump. Unfortunately last year this pump had about 6 or 7 leaks. As you can see down here, it's part of a repair that I did, and now it's leaking again. So you can just see the rust going basically all the way around the cylinder. So I was going to change this today. I have bought a new pump last night. I'm going to change all this pipe work because I think this ball valve here is leaking as well. So I am going to change that. I will change the basically up to here. But I'm not going to do that today. No, I don't think, or maybe this afternoon because of the weather. So that's another part of the water bill issue. As you can see, there's a bit of a puddle going on down the back. So I will get this taken out and I'll show you once I've got the new pump all installed. Right then, I've got the new pump in. It's about 5:30 in the evening now. I waited until it was probably 4:30. I thought, right, I'm going to give this a go now. It stayed dry, and it was a bit more involved than what I wanted to do, to be honest, or what I thought I had to do. This pipe down here, the stand on this one is actually higher than that one, so the mains feed into the house. I've had to change that pipe work and raise it so this would fit, which wasn't expected, but hey ho, it's done, it's in. And 10 minutes before I finished it started raining again. Luckily it was just a short shower and I only had 3 pieces left to solvent weld up, which was a bit of luck, but I've tried it, I've bled it out, and we're no leaks at the minute. Fingers crossed that that stays like that and we don't have any more water leaks and that, because don't need it, you just don't need it, do you? So that's that day done. I'm going to have a shower. These guys are getting hungry, so normally around 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the evenings I feed these guys, last meal of the day. So that's about it for me this one. Hope everyone has a good weekend, stay safe, enjoy your koi and your ponds, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, thanks for watching.